Hello. Welcome to another episode of the See You Alumni podcast. Before we listen to the conversation with our guest of the day, please subscribe on Apple if you haven't, on Google if you haven't, on Spotify if you haven't, or if you use Anchor Self, you can use that too. Our guest of the day is a fellow alum that shares the story of the experiences he had in Covenant University. And he's a little of an OG, so he gives us a peek into what he was like back in the day. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let's go and listen to the conversation we had with Muyiwa. Please enjoy. Hello Muyiwa, and you're welcome to the See You Alumni podcast.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm very good. One of those days, I'd say I've had a good day actually. I had a meeting that I've been waiting for a while, and it went well. So I think that's something exciting.
Nice. You said what? What did you say?
No. I was going to say that in the midst of all the craziness that is happening in Nigeria right now, but I mean that's not why we are here. Let's move.
That's true. Nigeria matter na long story.
Na long story. Na like 5 episodes.
All right, now. So, bro, we will enter introduction now. The listener is listening to you right now. They would like to know who they are listening to. You know, your name, when did you graduate, what course did you study, your location, what do you do, and so on like that. Just brief introduction.
Okay, so my name is Muyiwa Wujide. I studied computer science and I managed to graduate. I'm just joking. But when I say managed, I mean, it was crazy, man, for me. I mean, it was really crazy. But before we get to that part, so I finished in 2011. Beacon Set, I believe. I think that's our name. Beacon Set, 2011. And I currently am in Nigeria. I'm located in Nigeria. That story might change in a few months. It should change by God's grace anyways. That's my prayer. But currently I'm in Nigeria with my family. I'm married to a Hebronite also. And we have a son. Okay, so so what do I do? A few things actually, but I like to call myself an internet entrepreneur, and that's because everything I do basically is online. I'm a digital marketer. I've been in digital marketing for about 9 years now. I'm a content creator and a blogger. I've also been doing that for about 9 years. I'm an internet marketer in terms of affiliate marketing and other things here and there, brand management. So that's why I just summarize everything as being an internet entrepreneur, because I do a few things all over the place when it comes to using the internet. So yeah, that's who I am.
You don't take for this internet game where we just start.
For where?
Yes, I just started 4 years ago.
But yeah, I mean it's been a good ride. Say what? And I mean, you've been using the internet for how long? Personally, on the note of using the internet?
I don't think maybe more than 15 years or so. Yeah.
10 years, 12 years, 15 years. Exactly. So that means you yourself, you don't date the game for a while now.
The difference between just being a user and using it, with a purpose.
True, though. True. That's very true.
So
that's very true.
So we'll do our best. So moving on now, the next thing we'll move on to is, what kind of person were you in school? 100 level is not the same Muyiwa that graduated in 400 level. So can you take us on that journey from when you came in from admission. You understand? Each year, 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. Let's see you through your eyes.
Oh my God, this is a journey. This is a journey down memory lane, man. It's okay. So I'll first of all tell a story of how I got admitted, and I mean something interesting that happened. Well, to me, it's interesting. I hope the listeners find it interesting. So, I finished from secondary school in 2005.
Okay.
Right. And when I finished in 2005, for some reason, we didn't have our result, our WAEC result, because I was in a very notorious class. We're crazy. I wasn't anyways. I was the head boy. I had the responsibility of carrying the responsibility of everybody else on the shoulder. And I was always the cool-headed one that was trying to calm down these demons. Let me describe it that way. So the headmistress or the proprietress rather then decided, I said, look, if you think there's going to be any assistance for you guys when it comes to WAEC or when it comes to anything, and that's why you guys are crazy like this, just know that you're on your own. And she held true to her words, because while exams were going on, they caught some people cheating in my center, and they ran out of the exam hall. They didn't wait, they just ran away and disposed of the cheats. I can't remember what it is. So as this one's going wrong now, so the WAEC guys that came into the room there, they were just chasing them, but I mean these guys were off. So they were like, you know what, you guys think you've gotten away, Abi? No wahala, no see even I'll get a result. So nobody in my set had a result, right? So I was in science class, so I did not have physics and English and maths. People that were in government or art class or whatever, they would not have a subject that needed them to get into university and all that. So basically, I had to prepare for WAEC again and all those things and blah, blah, blah. So I spent like 2 years at home. And I didn't get admission till I was till like 2007. So when I wrote my CU exam, that was a bit of a backstory as to why I spent 2 years.
Yeah.
So when I wrote my CU exam, I was also preparing for several other schools, Unilag, this, that. And I guess my folks knew I was kind of frustrated at that of being at home anyways. But so the day I went to school to check if my name was on the list, my battery was low. My phone battery was low. All these touchlight phones back in the day. So I got to school. I went to I think it's CDS building. I saw my name on the list. Happy guy, excited, but my battery was dead. I couldn't call anybody to say, guys, I've gained admission. No, but I was like, okay, I'll go home. So I had to trek out of school all the way from CDS to Kenaland. So all the time it took me to get home, I didn't know my folks were already trying to call me. And calls upon calls. So when I got home and I finally charged my phone, when I got home and I was entering the compound, I saw that my parents were dressed up. And my brother was like, where have you been? Mommy and daddy are worried. This, that. They thought you've hurt yourself. I said, I'm sorry, hurt myself what? And they're like, because you've not gained admission. I said, guys, calm down. I would never hurt myself because I've not gained admission. I'm fine. My name was on the list. I just had a low battery. This, that. I sure went to meet my parents. When I put on my phone, which was the funny part, I then saw all the messages my mom had sent. Muyiwa, we love you. Please don't do anything. Don't worry, you will gain admission. So anyways, that was how I got, that was my admission story. And immediately after that happened, I just told my folks that, look, I'm not preparing for any Unilag or whatever it is again. I'm just going to see you. And everybody that I knew was like, see you. Are you sure you can survive? I mean, with all the rules, no phone, no this, no that. Anyways, so I joined the school. I came in. I've always been somebody that I didn't really like parents following me, all those things. So I came in. I did my registration. did everything without anybody following me. I was in I was in Paul Hall because I came in a day later. So all the 100 level were in Peter. I was in Paul.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of great friends in Paul Hall. One of them died this year. I mean, it hit me real hard when he did. Ebuka was a great guy. Ebuka was a brilliant motherfucker. I don't know if I can curse, but I'm sorry. But Ebuka was an amazing guy. A truly amazing guy. So God rest his soul. So 100 level, of course, I got in. I mean, I wasn't really from a rich background, so I had to just manage everything. When I see guys in the hostel spending money on clothes and everything, I was like, wow. So there are people like this and all that. So I mean, in 100 level, there was a bit of that confidence issue and all that. I even tried to buy bling from what's it called? From Lagos Island and all those rubbish. But after a while, I think I just got to know that you can't keep up with this. Like, you just need to be yourself. So by 200 level, I kind of came into my shell, and my shell was me being myself anyways. And that was me being a stabber. I was always in the hostel. I didn't really like going for classes, man. I won't lie to you. I was always watching movies non-stop. Like, I was always watching movies, which is what led me to what I do today anyways, because I do stuff in the movie industry. I own a blog, the most popular and most visited movie blog in Nigeria. I work for movie makers, I consult for filmmakers and all that. My blog is actually a media partner with Netflix, you get, and all those things. So a lot of things that we're doing right now that we've been able to do are from those days, because I was just always, watching movies. And one of my classmates or one of my roommates then told me that, dude, how do you feel so comfortable just stabbing? And I said, I'm fine. I mean, it is what it is. You like book, I don't like book. So that hurt me badly, because by 300 level, I think I had 7 carryovers. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I had 5.
And I think till date, the hardest thing, maybe the second hardest thing, I had 7. I rectified 2, but I had to come for summer to do 5. But I think the second hardest thing I ever had to, I won't tell you the first hardest thing, don't worry, please don't ask. The second hardest thing I ever had to do was walk into my dad's room and tell him that I had 7 carryovers. I literally paced up and down in front of his room for about 40 minutes. No jokes. As in, I kept pacing up and down, like, how do I tell this man? And eventually I walked into his room and I told him, and it was, I don't like remembering how he took it and how things went down. It was not a beautiful sight, because I felt really bad. So my mom said, you know what? I can't believe this. I mean, you were head boy in school. You were this, you were that. What has happened? I have to follow you to school. There must be a mistake. So my mom followed me to school to find out how I got 7 carryovers. Another embarrassment. Like this 300 level, this 200 going to 300 level. So I had to, go with my mom, went to CDS, I can't remember that office where they check results. So they looked through, they found out that, okay, they traced my scripts and all that, they rectified 2, and then they found out I had to write 5 exams. Going home was like the hardest drive, man. Like, it was crazy, because she was just really sad. I could see it in her eyes. So I said, you know what, summer, I must make sure I pass every paper and clear everything. And thankfully, summer came and and I passed and I cleared everything. And trust me, it was also
Lucky
a very
that we had summer at that time.
Lucky also. Now, I don't think it's allowed anymore. And summer was also really fun, because, I mean, there was the freedom. You could leave school. You could, the things that didn't exist when schools were in session, and we had a blast. So I don't know. There was the balance of partying and and studying and everything, and it was all good. I got to school in 300 level. I balanced up a bit because I knew that, look, you can't try this anymore. So from 300, I think I was almost on third class, but the summer thing bumped me up to a 2-2. And then I just maintained and managed.
Okay.
And I shall manage till I crossed the finish line. And final year, reality was setting in. So I was a bit serious. I was thinking about my future already. Hey, I have 2-2. All I do when I leave school, I won't get a job. Everybody else will be getting Zenny Bank. Then Zenny Bank used to come and all that. Slumberger used to come around.
Yeah.
They'll pick people, all those things. Hey,
Yeah.
my friends are getting all these things. I won't get that. So final year, I kind of adjusted. I was serious a bit. I still stabbed sharp. I mean, I didn't go for all those lecture things. I hated them. But all in all, I'm grateful that I never got a booking, although one time I did, but I ran away. But all in all, I think I'm grateful I never got any red flags, any trouble with what's it called, Revo or any of those guys. The new guys won't know what Revo is. I guess they've scrapped them, but Revo was like
You were ahead.
Yeah, Revo was like SARS back then. They were notorious, and it was.
I think.
Yeah, they were crazy, man. Lil Jon and his Wala and all those things. So I mean, I think that's my story.
Hello. Well, it's crazy. This your stabbing thing. This is your stabbing. How was your relationship with Chapo? How did you stay invisible? How you know cast for Chapo?
Well, I think I always went for what's it called, chapel service. I don't stab church service.
Oh.
Do you get? I don't stab church service. But on occasion, somehow, I don't know. I just never got into trouble. I used the phone pretty much throughout, to be honest. And I guess I can say it now because, man, I'm out of school. I used the phone from 200 to 300. I used the phone from 200 to 400 level. But I was not I kept to myself and I never tried to be flashy. I never even had the resources to be flashy or anything. So, and one thing I've come to notice, and I noticed back then, was the fact that people had beef for people. And once you're on somebody's radar, that person can easily report you and things like that. Yeah. It happened a lot in our time. Yeah, I don't know. What year did you finish?
2011. I entered 2005. So that's what you're saying.
Same year now. So, of course, exactly. So, all the beef that was going on, the boys that had all the flashy stuff, some guys will be beefing them, they'll report them. They'll just come to, Revo will just come to your room at night for no reason. Do you get? Yeah, there were a lot of snitches and all that, but I was, low-key and all that, so I don't think I had any wahala or anything like that. So, but all these lectures, all these public lectures, I think I attended probably throughout my time in the school, and somehow I never got into trouble. Somehow I just survived. Yeah, people used to write for me sometimes.
But there was a time public lecture was not compulsory now.
Yeah. But at the time, it became compulsory, like towards the end. It was, if they catch you stabbing in those days, you remember now. There was a time now that if they catch you stabbing.
It's crazy, guy. The thing just.
But anyways, we did here now, so 19 we matter be that. So, yeah.
You have, you highlighted this whole Revo thing now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the rules. Were there rules that made you like, what is this one? Like, Shogun Laye.
Okay, let me see. The rules that. Okay, let me see the rules that I didn't like. Of course, I hated the fact that I could not use phone, which was why I used the phone throughout.
Yeah.
I also, then another thing that I hated was during final year. I don't know if you remember when Lil Jon and some other idiots came into exam hall to be cutting people's hair and cutting trousers.
Trouser. They came now. Yes.
Yeah,
They're cutting pencil trousers.
you remember. Yeah, that was. Yeah, so something happened there. Yes, it was Faduba, then he sent his boys and all that. Yeah. So something happened that a lot of people, of course, didn't know about during that time around that thing. But I mean, before I tell that story, aside from that, what other rules? Yeah, I didn't like the fact that I couldn't dress the way I wanted. I mean, the whole corporate thing and all that. I have never been fashionable. I know Sabi dress. So my jeans and t-shirt or whatever is what I would have loved. Do you get all this combined pink tie with blue shirts and red tie with? You know how boys they do all those things now. I did, and then when you're going for chapel service, that like
color blocking.
Color blocking, oh bro. Like when you're going for chapel service, that perfumes go they clash up and down. You get all those things. I was not interested in all those things, man. Like, can't you just take it easy? Kilo shape going gone. Are you bankers? Why are you making life hard? so I think I didn't like the fact that we were doing all those things. Now practice, because many people at bank a lot of people end up, but it is what it is, man. So anyways, I think those were the things I didn't like. So back to the story about something that happened that I'll never forget. During that final paper that we were writing, during those final papers that we were writing, a friend of mine lost his mom, and we were writing papers and all that, and he was going home for her burial immediately after his exams. So he had cut his hair, he had dressed up, he had done everything. So he was just literally going from lecture theatre. He wasn't going back to the hostel. He was going from lecture theatre and heading out of school. So they came into lecture theatre in the exam halls and all that. You get, I'm sure you remember this. And they were digging into people that their hair was at a certain level with scissors. I mean, psychologically speaking, these are people that are writing their final papers. How the fuck do you do that? Like, you're setting the person off, man. Like, I'm not going to be psychologically well when my hair is cut, when my trouser is cut, if it's too skinny, if it's too... All those things were really fucked up. So I was very, very upset. I was very, very, very upset. So when we finished the papers and we got back to the hostel, I composed an email detailing everything that happened and how this was all messed up and everything. And I sent it to the VC. I found out, what's it called? Email address on the website. So on the school website. So I sent the email. I put my matric number, my hostel number, my everything. Like, if now one find me, and I know where I did, you get my course, everything. And my friends were like, dude, you're in your final year. Why would you be doing something like that? I said, look, how would they do something like this? So I sent it. I sent the mail in. So I think some days later, I stopped once again, and when my friends got back to the hostel, they were like, "Oh, they announced your name at chapel that you should report to VC's office or something after service." So I say, "What? Like, are you guys really kidding me right now? Are you serious?" So I was like, "Okay, well, since they didn't get me, I guess I'm free." So I didn't do anything. I didn't bother going or anything like that. So that evening I went to CST to read. So on the board in CST, I just saw that announcement, very large, right there. Muyiwa, report to VC's office tomorrow 9 a.m. So I knew that, okay, these people will find me wherever it is because my name, I knew where it was coming from. I knew what the source was. So because my name, my hostel number, my course, so if I don't answer, they will find me in the hostel. So I just went to the VC's office next morning. So they had service for 200 and 100 level, I think. So I had to wait for her to finish. When she got into CST, I introduced myself. Into CDS, I introduced myself that I was asked to come to your office. She said, "Oh, it's you. Please come along." So basically, to cut the long story short, we had a meeting where she asked me that she has been hearing a lot of things about what's happening in school, some laws being broken by members of staff and everything. And she has always asked the student council members if these things are true, but never has anybody come forward to say, yes, it is true that they always defend faculty members. And for that reason, I've never been able to take any action. But seeing your mail and seeing the detail you put into it, I think you sound like someone that is ready to talk. In my head, I'm like, Madam, how loud do you want me to talk? Don't worry. If you want me to sing like a canary, I'm going to sing. So she says, so if you're interested, your identity is going to be, of course, concealed. Tell me everything that has been going on. So this was Obanya. I don't know if you remember. Her blessed memory also. She has also passed on.
Yeah, I remember.
So I sang, bro. Like I literally sang. I told her everything. She asked me questions. She asked me questions about people, about Faduba, about. I answered yes. Have you witnessed things yourself? Yes, I've witnessed students being harassed, being slapped, being this, being that. So we had that meeting. So it was a very long meeting. It was like an hour long and all that. So we had that meeting. And of course, she thanked me for everything. And then I left. Shortly after we left school, there was a shuffle of people around a lot of what's it called, roles that had to do with disciplinary committee and all that. And I'm guessing, I don't have the validation or confirmation. Yeah. I'm guessing the meeting that we had was one of the results, was one of the things that resulted in that. So, I think that's something I'm really proud of. I mean, here comes a guy that was pretty much a useless student, but by the time he was leaving school, he was able to make some form of impact to the way students are treated, and hopefully.
But that's not useless, though.
So hopefully that was something that I was really happy about and I was proud of. And till date, I'm like, will I do something like that again? Now that I'm a father and my husband, would I take such risks when I know that, okay, I could get into trouble in terms of rustication or whatever it is? I don't know. But I mean, it is what it is. That's that.
Yeah, I believe what you told her, I believe that's what will affect some such things, because at least once in a while they listen, but there's still that deafness that is still worrying them, that they still don't understand.
That deafness,
They know the hear word at all.
They know the hear.
But we move,
Jerry. We thank God for where we are going. So
can we do small memo of how you met Madam? Was it in school or after school?
Yeah, so I met Madam in school through. I think that time I was hot myself. I had a girlfriend that was doing me kalu, I think, and my friends were like, there was a particular friend of mine who was dating her friend. My friend, a guy, of course, my roommate, was dating my wife's friend. Okay. So, and my friend says, you know what, there's a babe that you might like. I know you like Big Yash. This girl has probably one of the biggest. I don't know if that's allowed to be said on there. I know you like Big Yash. So there's this babe. She has mighty bum bum. And I know you like them big. So there's this babe. If you want me to introduce you to her, I mean, you tell a guy, babe has big ass. What else do you want him to say? Okay. So I say, no wahala. Okay, let's do it. So what's to me? So I think we were on Christmas holidays then. So we met through phone calls basically. So he gave me, he spoke to his girlfriend. The girlfriend spoke to her. She said, yeah, no problem. So he gave me her number. I called her up. Very sweet voice. Sounded like a baby. Still do. So we had a conversation. Horrible conversation. Horrible. I was so nervous. I was so jittery. And I'm sure she was like, what kind of lily livered guy is this? Like, horrible conversation. Like, I didn't even know what to say. You know, where you're just talking, I was like, so how are you? Like, you said like 5 times. I don't know. But anyways, we kept talking though. We kept in touch. I knew she had a boyfriend. She was also having some rocky things with our relationship then. But we just kept in touch. We're friends. So some years down the line, I let her know, okay, look, I like you. She wasn't expecting it because she felt I was in the friend zone, basically.
Oh, wow.
And she felt I was that guy that she was safe with to just have conversations with and tell what she's feeling and all that. But I just built the lever and I just told her, look, I like you and I would like to have a relationship with you. But that hurt the relationship. She drifted away because she was uneasy and uncomfortable. She drifted away for a long time, and then I don't know. I shall remember that I called her one day, like 4 a.m. Those extra cool days and all that. I called her one day, like 4 a.m. I don't know. Something just kept telling me, call this babe, call this babe. I don't know. I'm like, what kind of spirit are you? Why would you tell me to call somebody at 4 a.m.? So the thing just kept telling me to call her. So I just said, you know what, fuck it. I just picked up the phone and I called. And you know when you hear the dial tune, like, before the thing rang like twice, she picked up. I'm like, hello. So I guess she was awake. So I think her voice was sounding like she was crying. So I was like, wow. So this was why God told me to call this girl. So I was like, what's wrong? Blah, blah, blah. She said she was just having some issues. I said, is he your boyfriend? She said, yes. This, da. I said, Asha was there. You know, I formed the guy that in my mind, I was like, this guy, just go away. Let me get him. So don't worry, we'll come around. Don't worry. So she called me the next morning and she's like, what made me call her that morning? I said, I don't know, something just told me to call her that she needed to talk to somebody. Of course, I think my game was already better at this time. So somehow she got closer. She got closer and closer and closer to me. And that gap, that sort of, that bridge was built back up again. And then we got really, really close. I didn't ask her out again. I didn't bother because I didn't want to spoil things, so I didn't even bother. But out of the blues, January 1st, I was in church, kabashing and praying for God's blessings. Around 12:30 a.m., I got a text from her saying, let's make our relationship official. And I'm like, oh, wow, God, that was fast.
Hallelujah.
That was 20, I can't remember. I don't know, maybe 2013 or whatever. Fast forward 2017, we got married. Wow. We have a kid, we have another baby on the way. Thank God. So here we are.
I thought you said you're keeping that now.
No. The baby, it's the sex that I didn't want to reveal.
Okay.
Everybody knows she's pregnant. All my friends know she's pregnant. Yeah. So it's the sex that I just did. So you're probably the first person that knows my daughter's mom having a daughter. So
wow. Thank you. Lips sealed. Lips. By the time this episode will come out, maybe the secret will be out already.
When will this come out?
Let me see now. It might be to July.
July, okay. The baby is due end of July, so I don't know. Whatever it is.
All right. No Allah. So let us. Your love story is really inspiring. It's really, I really like that. When I see you couples, they put me in God when mode.
It is well.
That's that. So, bro, to end this now, can you I think you have mentioned some of the things. What I want to ask you now is some things that you learned as a result of going to CU. I remember you said that because of your stabbing, you're able to learn a lot of things online. Or am I right?
Yes. Yes, I was able to do that. So while I was I actually tried to do a few things. I've always been a creative mind. So I think my journey to where I am in terms of my creative space was a long time coming. I've always been somebody that could draw. Right from when I was young, myself and my brother, who is also in the film industry, inherited those genes from my grandfather of blessed memory. He was an artist, a brilliant artist. So I created comics when I was a boy. Like I created a character. I created characters that I regret destroying those comics. I created a character, Blade Man. The guy could get out blades from his body and all those things, and we used that to defend himself, blah, blah, blah. I drew comics. I threw them away because I felt they were rubbish. But till this day, those are one of my biggest regrets. So when I got to school, I joined a group called Me and Art, which is an art team, which is an art group. There are drama clubs, there are this, there are that. Me and Art was for artists and all those things. Yeah, so I was in Maynard, and that also helped me somehow. So then I was watching a lot of movies. I also tried to start a magazine, but I mean, the funding for the magazine, I asked my dad if he could help me, but when I got those horrible scores, and the 7 carryovers, my dad said, nothing is coming out of my pocket for you to fund any stupid magazine. So of course, it's just like, dude, go and read and pass and get the fuck out of that school. So, but I mean, a friend said something to me which I'll never forget, and I always tell him that you're one of the reasons why I do what I love to do. Because I'll be honest with you, and I'm not trying to say this to make anybody feel bad, I really, really love what I do. I was miserable for a few years when I started working, but when I discovered what I was really passionate about, which is digital marketing and content creation and movies and things like that, it has brought me on an amazing journey. Like I've been privileged. Like I can't even start to tell you some of the privileges I've been able to enjoy. The money isn't there. I mean, I'm comfortable, thank God. But in terms of if I had done some certain things, I think I'll be richer than I am right now. But I'm very much happy with what I'm doing. And what my friend said was when he noticed how much I loved movies, and people used to come from other hostels to get movie recommendations from me. Like someone would just knock on my room, Chairman, I find MY, and they're like, na MY be that. So of course I'm wearing my headphones, so I can't even hear that anybody's before. So the guy comes to my bed, like, Chairman, I beg, somebody from John will say you get movies, I beg, if you give me say. So I know my pigeon sucks. Don't mind me. So I'll just collect the guy's flash drive, give him movies, goals, do you get? So seeing how much I loved movies, and I was always watching movies, and I had tons and tons of movies on my laptop and all that. A friend of mine said something. He said, look, dude, you have to find a way to make money from this, your passion of movies. And I think it's just going to be a waste if you cannot monetize your passion for movies. And I just held on to it. I was like, in my head, I laughed and I was like, yeah, no, but I never forgot that conversation, and I always remembered it. And when I gave birth to my blog back then, Sodas and Popcorn, I was like, okay, I think this is what Sheon was talking about. So today, I mean, it's a media agency focused on the movie industry and all that. So, I think that's one thing two things. I mean, first, my wife, and second, the person of my passion. Those are the two things that I'm really, really happy I was able to take out of the school. So, no regrets.
That is fantastic. So, one last question. Second is the last question. Can you give us a movie recommendation for a thriller, this genre, Movie recommended for thriller movie, Sha. Thriller.
A Quiet Place 2.
No.
You need to watch that movie. Now, if you've seen A Quiet Place 1, have you seen A Quiet Place 1?
I've watched 1.
Yes. So guess what? Part 2. Now I have the sentiments. Me personally, my sentiments are, oh no, part 1 is better because part 1 was groundbreaking. There was this movie that just came out of nowhere that was pretty much a very quiet movie, and it was very reliant on people's expressions and emotions and the way they were acting. It was a very acting intensive movie, and all you just needed to do was watch. You cannot listen because there's nothing to listen to except a few scenes. You just have to watch, and this movie grips you for 2 hours, right? And it doesn't really have too many scenes aside from maybe like 2 scenes, the beginning where the first boy, and then the end, the final act where they take on those things and all that.
Giving birth.
Yeah, the giving birth, and then it's stepping the foot on the nail. Till today, that scene grips me. Do you get? But guess what? Yeah, that nail scene is something that I still watched it. I still watched A Quiet Place 1 last week, and I still shouted. I was like, Jesus, which kind of pain did this woman feel that she could not shout? How do you feel this kind of pain and you still hold it? So part 2 has, trust me, part 2 has more moments. Part 2 has more moments. And I am of the sentiment that, I prefer part 1 because it was the first and it was groundbreaking, but part 2 almost lives up to the expectations of part 1. And that's the movie I would recommend that anybody should see right now, because I've seen A Quiet Place 2 twice. Already. I saw it the day it opened, and then I went to see it with my wife again. The next day or 2 days later. Yeah, on Sunday. I went to see it with my wife on Sunday, and I still enjoyed it very much. So yeah, that's a movie I recommend for everybody to see. In terms of TV series, I wouldn't recommend a thriller, but I'll just recommend a dark satire, funny kind of stuff, and also great acting. Succession is on HBO, and of course, everybody is crazy about it. Those that have seen it, Succession is mad. It's brilliant. It's a completely brilliant stuff. I think I'll give a third recommendation. I'm so sorry, I'm dragging. For fans of sci-fi, people who love science fiction, there is one series you need to watch because that series is different. It's in a league of its own, and it's called The Expanse. I'm a huge fan of The Expanse. Okay. I'm a huge fan of sci-fis, and one thing that I love about The Expanse is, and I've always looked for a series that sort of starts with the familiar. I don't want to give it away too much, but then gradually finds its way into the world of the unfamiliar, the supernatural, the alien elements, and the world all seems like normal, and you feel everything is fine, and then gradually you just find yourself in a new place that there are unlimited possibilities in terms of where the story can go, in terms of sci-fi elements and all that. And that's something that The Expanse does brilliantly, and is also very scientifically accurate according to astrologers. According to astronomers, right? Astronauts, sorry. According to astronauts. Okay. It's also very scientifically
astronauts what of astrophysicists are
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. So I think I even saw a review of an astrophysicist that was kind of checking it and all that. So yeah, those are the 3 recommendations that I think I'll give. Yeah. So yeah, it's those are 3 stuffs that I'm really enjoying right now that I can watch over and over.
It makes sense. So bro, finally, where can we find you and all that you do?
Okay, so my Instagram is Muyiwa _ Awojide. My website is, and when I say my, it's not just me. I have a team, so I'm not taking that credit lightly. There's a whole bunch of amazing people that make sodas and popcorn what it is and what it continues to grow to be. So there is the website www.sodas, popcorn.ng. And for our Instagram page, sodas_popcorn. Twitter, sodas and popcorn, basically. Facebook, sodas and popcorn. I hope people were able to get that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll link everything in the show notes.
Okay, that would be awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, bro, it was great having you here. Thank you for giving us some of your time.
I've had so much fun, man. So much fun. I love doing this. I love talking. I love having conversations with people. So it's always a pleasure.
Yes, you go talk about movies next time when we jam. We go talk movies.
Straight up, man. Straight up. Let's do this. I remember football manager. I remember boys and football manager back in the days in school. Man, you took me down memory lane. Okay, thanks so much for having me. Yes, so addiction on another level.
We don't think.
No, the addiction level is crazy, man. Yeah.
All right, now.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful week. But before you go, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Have a wonderful week. Take care.